Yo, so we got new J. Cole, or rather, an update from Cole. And I'll be honest, I've already gone through it. It's nothing crazy, but it is exciting. Because anything for the fall off and anything from J. Cole right now is beyond exciting. But we actually have an update and a actual additional album cover from J. Cole. This is lit. This is lit. I like the look of this album cover. I don't like it more than the beat machine that he had in his home, but it's still really nice as an alternate or additional album cover. But I'm gonna read it and we'll go through it and maybe have some thoughts and discussions. But it reads: the fall off cover that is currently circulating is a picture I took on a disposable camera when I was 15 years old. My very first setup, my first beats were made in that spot, surrounded by my mother's CD collection that I would comb through looking for samples. The first full song I ever made came to life in that very chair you see in that picture. I sat for hours in a zone I had never experienced before, until I was done writing a track that I titled The Storm. I probably rapped it out loud about 50 times back to back. My young mind was blown that I had actually wrote something this great. Quote, I called Nervous Wreck immediately to ask if I could come over to the shelter to record it. The mental space I had entered writing that joint was a feeling I will attempt to explain, but I doubt I will do it justice. It was the strongest possible, a combination of creativity, the imagination at work, focus in search of the next line, faith, belief that the next line will come, and excitement in knowing that this thing being written is truly something special that I imagine one can't understand until they've been in it. It's like God letting you into heaven for a few hours. Then, even after it's time to leave, there is a lasting glow, a high and a fulfillment that stays with you for days. And now every time you sit down to write, you'll close your eyes, cross your fingers, and hope he'll open the gates for you again. The picture of where it all started for me felt fitting for an album that I made with the ending in mind. It has been the cover for the fall off for about the past 7 years. Perfect in my mind. However, 2 years ago, after the events that still feed the algorithm to this day, I became incredibly re-inspired, and the album slowly blossomed into a double disc as the concept expanded. I felt there should be an additional cover that represented that. Something just as strong as the first, with my face on it, so that when I look back in 20 years, I can see an image of who I was at that time. I released a project I had worked on for so long. This is that cover, available now for pre-order for the CD version of the album. Peace. And in this last part, it's him kind of putting a notation for a chat, for people to put in questions and conversate with. He said, oh yeah, also we have added a section to this site called Ville Central. It's a message board / forum that you could post in if you choose, paying homage to a website I used to visit as a teenager called Cannabis Central. I would go there damn near daily, hoping for any updates about when Cannabis was gonna drop a new album or single or freestyle or anything. A community formed there over time, and I thought it might be dope to offer the same thing on this site, a space to chop it up about the music or whatever else. I have no idea if it's a good idea, but right now the plan is to keep it up until the end of February. I will do a Ask Me Anything on there in the next few days. And I already hearted it. I love everything about this. I'm a Cole fan. I love Cole. So it's not like a crazy update. There's nothing crazy about the update outside of there being an additional album cover and a CD release that you could pre-order. That being said, because the other things that are in this, it's pretty much in his audio book, if you want to call it that, podcast, whatever, called Inevitable, which is obviously like part of the rollout for the Fall Off. And Inevitable concludes at 2014 Forest Hills Drive, which is pretty much when the Fall Off is where it's where the conception started, basically where the Fall Off concept and everything about it kind of piqued Cole's mind and thought process. But this is pretty cool to me. I mean, I like that he's being very connected with the fan base. He seems very much wanting to be close with the fan base, and especially after everything with the bowing out of the beef, the apology. I think this is great. I think this is great, and I think this is the right direction to go. I'm not sure if he's really leaving rap after this album, but it really doesn't feel like a fall off. Just straight up. Even with the mixtape he's had out, it doesn't sound like he's leaving. That's just me, but it could be. It could be. And if it is, and it's his greatest work, and it's one of the greatest rap albums of the decade, then as Pusha T would say, so be it. So be it. I'm happy. I'm happy with everything that's come out. The mixtape sounds unbelievable, and I should probably make my own separate video about that. But man, it's so nice to see where things are going with this album. The Fall Off, you can see the alternate, cover, and the CD. The CD looks pretty nice. What can be said, man? Go pre-order if you are an actual Cole fan. Go pre-order. This might be a moment you don't want to miss. I've got my pre-order in for the vinyl, and I have 2014 Forest Hills Drive vinyl coming in, and those are the first ever vinyls I've ever bought, and I'm excited. Very, very excited, and I hope y'all are too. But let me know your thoughts, your feelings, and let me know if you'll be in the forums to ask Cole some questions. Hopefully they get answered. But all that being said, much love, peace. I'm out.